my phone so I can just make sure that we are good.
All right. I'll look at you.
Okay. Please hold, everyone, if you are already here and can see us.
You need like waiting music.
I know, we really do. Okay, yeah. I know, right? Yeah, I love it. Let's do it. So I totally like got up and took a shower and washed my hair and everything and still threw it up in a ponytail because if I don't do it, it's all like frizzy. And
oh no, this is dry shampoo. I was like, all right, make yourself look presentable.
So jealous because even when I wash my hair, I have to actually like do it. Otherwise it, anywho. Oh my gosh, I watched a TikTok yesterday or something and oh, let me pull this up that way I can just, oh, look how cute it gives us captions on there. That's amazing. I don't know if that's a thing that I selected or what, but anywho, I watched a TikTok yesterday and they were talking about how the side part is like a old lady thing now.
Oh,
and I was
yeah,
like,
no,
I'm sorry, what?
The side part is dead. I was like, but so when I was a kid and I put it right down the middle, my mom told me it looked like I had a butt head. I was like, well, thanks. So I did the same part. It won't do anything other than that.
That's hilarious because I have never been able to get my hair to do a side part. And I always thought like, I look old because I'm so unfashionable because I can't get my hair to do a side part. And now here
you're on trend.
For the first time in my entire life. Okay, so let's dive in. Hey everyone, if you're here, say hi. I've got my phone pulled up so we can see the comments. Since whatever, I can't really see them on StreamYard. We are going to map out your podcast launch. Are you excited?
So excited.
Yay! Okay, so, and this will be really good. Just for anyone who wants to start a podcast, we can kind of go through the process and they can kind of watch us just kind of figure things out.
Cool.
Okay. So do you have a launch date in mind?
I do. And now that it's February tomorrow, I'm terrified of the launch date I gave myself.
Okay. What is the launch date that you gave yourself?
March 3rd.
March 3rd. Okay. And let's go through kind of what you've done so far to get ready.
Okay. I mean, I definitely have concept. I have researched, products I need to buy as far as like a mic and that kind of stuff. Nothing crazy fancy, but, little things. I have started kind of a list of people that I would like to bring on to the show, what I might talk to them about. I've generated a list of questions that I think will be kind of standard questions for each guest, but then letting the conversation kind of trail naturally. And then you and I have kept tossing back and forth podcast names, but that's kind of where I am.
Okay. And names. All right, cool. Okay. So, all right. So I really would like for you to stick to the March 3rd date, but I don't really know what's going on in your life. I don't really know like how overwhelmed. Well, that's not true. I do know how overwhelmed.
Single mom, pandemic teaching, impending snow.
You're like, so I'll launch it next year.
A new job interview next week. So, but like, this is the thing. I work really well under stress and balancing and juggling a lot of different things at the same time because I don't sit still well.
Good. Yeah. Okay. Me neither, really. Okay. So, for the sake of this exercise, let's stick with March 3rd and then we can kind of map it out. And if something major comes up or something like that, then you can change it and you can kind of adjust it according to whatever your plan is. But let's just stick with the 3rd for right now. Okay. So for everyone who doesn't know, do you want to tell them the concept of the podcast?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's taken on a couple of different forms in this journey of trying to figure out exactly what it is. But the idea and the premise behind it right now is really this celebration of being a girl in the world and having mentors and friends and people that you can count on, because, at 35 years old, I'd say a couple years ago when Rachel Hollis kind of exploded on the scene, I fell in love with her and just this message that she was putting forward. And then I found my Glennon Doyle and all of these people. And I thought, wow, these are women who have inspired me at this point in my life. And I would love it if I have an 11-year-old daughter. I teach 6th grade boys and girls, obviously, but my core audience is girls. Why do they have to wait until they're 35 to put their lives back together instead of setting them up for success where they are now?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I love that. And we've talked a lot about this, and, it's kind of the idea of how do we get ahead of it, right? Like we know now kind of how to heal from our stuff. How do we get ahead of it so we can, my hair is all crazy. How do we get ahead of it so we can kind of not heal, but like learn ahead of time how to be mindful.
Setting them up for success in a way that they don't have to recover later, that they can go into the world confidently with their core tribe of people that they know they can count on, and how to figure out, well, how do I get that core group? How do I find my tribe at 11 and let that carry me through life, rather than, I watch my 6th grade students and my own daughter kind of flounder in relationships and trying to figure that out. And one of the things that I constantly find myself saying to them is, this fight you're in right now, this disagreement that you're having, does this matter? Is this a make or break moment where you can no longer count on that person or depend on that person? Or is this a silly thing? And just helping them navigate relationships in general.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that having that maturity in the relationship too, where it's like, hey, I love you, and, we can work this out. We can figure it out, but I'm not going to allow you to treat me like this. So
my daughter I am so proud of her. She's gotten to a point where, she's got really great friends, and some of them jive together and some of them don't. So it's like, we're going to play with this person alone and this person alone, never together, because it just doesn't work, the mix. But she's gotten really good at being able to tell them, I love you. I need a little bit of a break and some space right now, and we'll pick this back up when we're both better.
We have a hard time saying that at 35 and 40. Come on, man.
I know. Somehow I programmed her well.
Yeah. You've done a really great job. And I think that's exactly what our girls that are coming up into adulthood now really need. I love this. Okay, so let's list out some things that we need to get done before the launch. Okay, so we need to probably record 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Let's say like a trailer, which doesn't necessarily have to be one of the episodes. It can be like episode 0.
Right.
And then we've got maybe like 3 other episodes in addition to that. So do you have kind of mapped out how you want to kind of start off? Do you want the first episode really to just be like an introduction of, not just a trailer, but like a real introduction of what it is?
I think so, because I think, and that's been the thing for me in fine tuning where it is and what the concept itself is. I eat podcasts all day, every day, right? Like, I consume them religiously. And I find that when you have that first episode that lets people know who you are, get them familiar with your story, your purpose, why you're doing this whole thing, rather than just jumping into it, I connect better. Like, I love relationship building. I love talking to people. I love getting to know their story. And so I think that that's an important component of launching it.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect. I love that. And then, so do you have kind of what your next step is in the podcast format, as far as kind of like the first couple of episodes that you want to do?
Conceptually-ish.
Okay. No, that's good. And then, so we'll have number 2 and number 3. Are they okay? So overall, the podcast will be a interview style podcast.
Interview
or conversation style.
conversation, interview, storytelling, because the people that I want to have on are, it's twofolded, right? It's women in my life, like adult women in my life who have impacted me, inspired me, built a relationship with me, and then connecting that with, I have a list of former students, some who are in college now, all the way to current students who, in speaking with parents and setting this kind of background up, getting them to be a part of it too, so that it's this multi-generational conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about that. I know that we've tossed around a few names. I'm kind of getting off track here just because something popped up in my head. I like the word conversations because because it is conversational, right?
Yeah.
You don't want it to just be like, hey, I'm going to interview you and get all your tips and blah, 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 right? Like it's a discussion.
It's a discussion, it's a conversation, it's storytelling, because each of the women and people that I have in my mind, it's, we've got a history. There's a reason you're in my circle, in my world, right? And I think that that's an important part of it too, is like sharing, okay, who are you to me? Who am I to you? How have we impacted each other? And how can we use that to touch and reach all of these young girls?
Yeah, I love that. Okay. So we'll come back to the name here in a little bit because my opinion.
I know. We'll sidebar table that one for now.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Okay, so we've got the 3 episodes. So we need to build in enough time to have the episodes recorded, edited, yada yada. So obviously we're going to work backwards. So if you want to launch on March 3rd, we need to have, let's say, 10 days of promo saying, hey, the podcast is coming. I'm so excited. Yada, yada. Okay. So let's back up from there. March 3rd. That would be, okay, perfect. So that's going to be the 21st. We need to start that, February 21st.
Okay.
Okay. And so we would like to we need to have the trailer done and submitted to directories like Apple, specifically Apple first. And you can submit that with just the trailer.
Okay.
Let's say, because here's the thing, I want you to know that it's approved before you start promoting it. That way you don't have to come back and be like, just kidding, it's not launching on the 3rd. So I would say let's have that done by next Sunday, the 7th. It's just a trailer. But it's just a trailer.
You see why March 3rd is now looking very scary. Okay.
It's just a trailer. It's all right. That's easy. Because you can submit that without recording the other episodes quite yet.
Okay.
Okay. But we do have to pick a name.
I know. I'm torn between 2. And
okay.
You're going to win.
I know.
So we want to start that conversation, and then I'll share my hesitation towards that one. Okay.
Yeah. So tell me the 2 names that you're thinking of.
Okay. Name number 1 is XOXO Jamie Lee. That has insane personal significance for me. Because as does the launch date, March 3rd is an important date. It is, this year will be the 11-year anniversary of losing my father to suicide.
Oh, wow.
And
I did not know that about you.
Yeah. And XOXO, my dad would send every text message, every holiday card, birthday card, everything XOXOXOXO. And my sisters and my family and I have done work with AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We're Team XOXO. I am the XOXO teacher. I like XOXO is the philosophy in which I live my life, right? And then obviously my name is Jamie Lee, what I go by on almost everything. And the other name is The Stories I Tell, because that's the working title of the book, the memoir I'm writing. And somehow the podcast and all of this, like it's all interconnected into my bigger idea, the organization. My hesitation with XOXO Jamie Lee is that it doesn't tell people what it's about.
Yes. And so, but it kind of does. So what if it was XOXO Jamie Lee
tagline?
Semicolon? Is that what they're called? Colon. Thank God I'm not a teacher. XOXO Jamie Lee, The Stories I Tell. And then in your description, that's where you can kind of go wild and just like basically tell everything that you want to say. You can brain dump kind of eloquently what the podcast is about.
Okay.
How does that feel? Like, you don't have to decide right this second, obviously.
It feels like a good merge. It feels like it's a little bit clearer. But it doesn't hit on the podcast itself being this kind of female-based conversations, you know?
What if you said The Stories We Tell?
Oh, okay.
Because then it's like, it's a group of us, and you're talking about the stories you tell to yourself that are sometimes not true. Let's work through that. But then also, like, this is my story that I need to tell you so that you overcome it or don't go through it or you learn something from me, yada, yada.
Yeah. Okay, I like it.
Yeah?
I do. It puts it together. It's the best of both worlds.
I knew I was going to get XOXO in there.
I love
it. Makes me so happy.
Than I
was. It's just so catchy and spunky and just really like brings in your personality. It is just so you. I love it. I love it. Okay. XOXO Jamie Lee, The Stories We Tell. And you can, of course, sit on this and, you know, if you change your mind later, totally no worries, no big deal.
I like it. It feels good. It feels good.
Yay! Okay, good. So check, done. Okay, so then, all right, let's work on this. Okay, so we've got the trailer is going to be due on the 7th. Okay. So I would say that also, and we can work on this now if you want, or you can kind of go work on it on your own and just, you know, message me or whatever if you want feedback. The description. What I would suggest for that is maybe setting up a voice note on your phone.
Yeah.
And just
running tally of those. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So then we can just kind of put that together. I would say let's make that. I think you can also just kind of group that with the trailer.
Okay.
And say that that's all due on the 7th because you have to have that to submit your podcast.
Right.
Is the description and the trailer. Okay, so podcast cover. Do you have any ideas for that?
I do. I don't know where it is now, but I have a sketchbook where I've kind of started putting together ideas. Yeah. Okay.
So that's also going to be due on the 7th. And we can kind of map this out over this week to say, okay, first I'm going to work on this. This was the hardest thing. Let's get that done because let's do the hardest things first.
Okay.
Hi, Miss Denise. How are you, Miss Lavati? Glad to see you here. It's not really telling me everyone that's jumping on. So if you're here or if you're catching the replay, just say, hey, or replay or, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna have the cover due on the 7th as well. Okay, have you decided where you're hosting your podcast?
No.
Okay, so when I was looking, I had heard a lot about, oh gosh, what was it? It was the one that was like super big at the time. Something about a berry or something. Anyway, I would suggest looking at Buzzsprout or Podbean. I use Buzzsprout.
Buzzsprout?
Yes, Buzzsprout.
Okay.
And then the other one is Podbean, Podbean. I would say pick from one of those. I know a lot of people say like Anchor, and there's a few other ones.
I've used Anchor with my students before, and I don't dislike it. It works better for my kids and the purposes that I have them do it. I don't think that I would want to host it on there for myself.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not even really sure, and I don't know, I don't remember. I know I've looked at it before, but don't quote me on this. But I'm not sure how easy it is to send it to other platforms, like Apple and, Google and Spotify and all that stuff. I know with Buzzsprout, once I set it up through those and I get them, and it'll walk you through, Buzzsprout will walk you through getting it submitted to Apple and Google and Spotify and all the places. And then every time you upload one and click publish, it'll just automatically go out to them. There's nothing else you have to do. So I love Buzzsprout. I think it's super easy. I think that it's a little bit easier to share your podcast episodes, or like automatically share your podcast episodes to like Twitter and stuff like that through Podbean, but don't quote me on that either because I haven't really done.
I'll look at both of them. I'll explore.
Yeah. Okay, so you figure that out. I would say if you could get that decided today, that would probably be excellent. That way you can kind of get familiar with it and how to submit your trailer and things like that. I would say let's pick one of those today if you can. Okay.
I mean, if not today, it looks like we're getting snowed in, and maybe I'll have a snow day tomorrow. So,
do you even have a snow day if you're virtual? Like, how does that work?
That's a whole other conversation.
It's
maybe some districts do. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But why would you need one if you're already virtual?
Well, because, so here's the crazy thing. Like, we're supposed to get 13 to 18 inches between now and Tuesday, and wind gusts up to 35 miles an hour. So, sure, in theory, everybody's home, but the internet's going to crap out on everybody. So
Yeah, totally. That's true. That's 100% true. Didn't even think about that. Okay, moving on. So we've got your name. We're going to work on the description, cover, where you're hosting, trailer submission. We're going to start promoing on February 21st. We're going to launch on March 3rd, go live. Okay, let's talk interviews. Do you know who you want your first couple of guests to be?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I have a pretty good system for getting interviews set up. And so I can walk you through that offline, just so people aren't like, dude, come on, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And getting bored with us. So I can walk you through that offline. So we need to get those scheduled. And, oh, you know what? We got to order your stuff. We got to order your product.
I have an Amazon shopping cart kind of just sitting there waiting for me to just hit deliver.
Okay, cool. So, okay. Did we talk about mics? Did I send you?
No, but I have friends that work in media, so I kind of have
perfect
pulled from them. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what are you editing your podcast episodes with?
I don't know yet.
Awesome.
I'm
Okay.
looking for suggestions.
I'm assuming you're a Mac user.
No.
No. Okay.
Like
Well,
Mac.
that was. Okay. So I've used a PC my whole life, and I was working for a guy, and he made me use a Mac, and I was like, I hate this thing. I had to Google everything. Like, how do
Yeah,
I copy and paste? I don't know.
I'm not Mac equipped. I'm very tech savvy, and then I touch a Mac and I feel really dumb.
Thank you. Same. Oh my gosh. Okay. But obviously if you grow up with it, you learn it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I have the PC, and I use Audacity.
Oh,
Surprising.
oh.
I actually that was a total coincidence.
I am familiar with that platform. I've used it.
Perfect. Okay. It's pretty easy. And if there's ever something that you're not understanding, there's plenty of YouTube videos about it, and it's pretty, especially because you are tech savvy, you'll be able to figure it out super easy. Okay, so we need to obviously have your intro done and your 2 interviews scheduled and recorded and edited by March 3rd. So because have you done podcast editing before?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay. So it shouldn't be too hard to get it figured out enough to get it launched. Okay. So let's say it really depends on the person, because I know some people are like, no, I need to have things done really far in advance so I feel good about it. Then there are other people that are like, no, as long as I have it done by March 2nd, I'll be good.
No, I'm a procrastinator. I can get things done at the last minute, and they're like, great.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So let's just say we want those done by March 2nd. That way you can wake up March 3rd and it's live automatically.
No, so let me ask you this question. A couple of the podcasts that I follow, obviously they come out on like a weekly basis. And they'll kind of line up on their website, like coming soon, and they'll have a little clip and a description, but they won't launch them all. They'll just kind of have them sitting on deck. Is that what you do? Like, how do you deal with your scheduling?
Well, it really depends on my motivation. But a lot of times I do try to get, like, I record several ahead of time, and then I'll sit down and do the intros for all of them, and then my podcast guy will put them together for me, and then all I have to do is go in and download it and then schedule it. And so because I record several of them ahead of time, I can go ahead and schedule them ahead of time. So yeah, whichever way works for you. If you kind of like to fly by the seat of your pants, then do that. But I will say that when I do that, it's way more stressful for me, because I'm like, crap, now this other thing came up that I wasn't really
right.
You know what I mean? So I prefer to batch it. It's just that sometimes I don't do that, if I'm being completely vulnerable and honest with you.
Well, life happens.
Life happens. And yeah, anyway, there are absolutely no excuses for me, but sometimes it happens anyway. So, okay. So let's say we want to have those, let's just say for energy's sake, we want to have them done by February 28th. Just in case you get a big snowstorm and you can't get it uploaded and you're not like, oh my God, what's happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say if we've got them edited by the 28th, let's have them recorded by the 21st.
Okay.
All right. Okay. What else is there anything else on your list that you're thinking of that you need to get done before you launch? We need to schedule out some promo stuff for sure.
Yeah, probably just that. I mean, I think we kind of talked our way through several of the things that we're lingering.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's see. If we do promo 10 days out, let's say, so we'll start that. What did I say on the 21st? Yeah, we'll start promos on the 21st. It would be really, really cool if you could kind of have, if you have the time to get all of it kind of done and kind of pre-scheduled. It's kind of overwhelming to get 10 days of promo done because you're like, kind of where am I? What am I doing?
Now, what does that mean for you? I mean, as far as, tell me more specifically by what you mean about promo.
Cool. So like, where do you, okay, you spend time on Facebook and Instagram, yes?
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Where do you want to promote your podcast?
I all three, I think. I mean,
okay. I will say that when you're starting out, it's very overwhelming to promote in all the places. So if we're going to do that, that's totally fine. But let's have like everything is basically the same and it goes to all the places, right? Like your Facebook post will, or your Instagram post will go to Facebook, your TikTok post will go to Instagram, blah, blah, blah. Like, don't try to reinvent the wheel and do one post here on TikTok, and a different post on Instagram. Yeah, like let's just keep it really streamlined, especially at the beginning. Okay, so then I would say a minimum of one post a day for those 10 days.
Okay.
And you can kind of, actually, we can do it now. So let's say the first, I'm going to write 10 numbers down here. Okay. On the 10th day, we're going to say, okay, let's see. What? Hold on. I'm going to look back at the calendar real quick. Come on, mouse. Where did you go? Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so just want to be sure. The 11th day would be launch day. Okay, so on 11, we're going to be like, launch. Oh my God, we're so excited. Yada, yada. Like, go check it out. Please leave me, a review, a comment. It would really mean a lot to me. And we can do that for like several more days after that, just to keep the momentum going the first week or so.
Okay.
So for the 10 days before that, let's see, the 10th day, we're going to be like, oh my gosh, it's tomorrow. I can't wait for you to hear it. Let's say like, what day did I say? Yeah, you're going to have your episodes edited by the 28th. So let's see. So I would say like on the 28th and the 29th, do a preview.
Wait, there's no 29th this year, is it? It's not a leap year?
No, it's not. I'm just looking at the 28th and the 1st. So,
okay.
Sorry.
I'm like writing down dates. Wasn't last year?
You're like, wait a minute, there's not. Wait. Shoot. 20. Because I started on the first day of the 10 days is the 21st. And so I was like, oh, okay, so that's the 20. Anyway.
I got you. Okay, it's all good.
Okay, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay.
Yeah, good. Got it.
On the 28th, we'll preview episode 1. And on the 1st, we'll preview, I almost did it again. We'll preview episode 2. And let's see. On the first day, you can say something like, stay tuned. Something big is coming. Or something like, I've been working on something really big.
Okay.
And then on the 22nd, okay, so let's tell them what it is on like the 24th, because that's
1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 days in.
oh, wait, hold on. Come on, computer. Yeah, on the 24th. So we'll have 1 week until it launches. So we'll on the 24th we'll say in 1 week here's the secret, it launches in a week. Like you're announcing the podcast that day.
Okay.
And then let's see. On
So would the 25th then be a day to like blast out the trailer?
Ooh, yes, I like that. Let's do that. Love it. Okay. Those first 3 days, you really can use it as like giving a couple of hints here and there. Like you could do like a story hint. You could
Like
do
a logo reveal, the cover art reveal.
I wouldn't do that yet because you haven't told them yet it's a podcast.
Okay.
So like the first day you're going to be like, ooh, stay tuned. I got a big secret. I've been working on something. On day 2, I would say, here's a hint about something I've been working on. And maybe it's like a book. Like it's just like a book of somebody reading or, someone listening to, maybe it's a GIF of someone listening to a podcast or something along those lines. I think you could even do like an XOXO hint, and then, ooh, let's also do like a, I'm thinking out loud, so don't, like, this doesn't have to be set in stone, but maybe you could do like a hint contest. I don't know what they would win yet. I haven't thought that far ahead, but maybe like, ooh, get your guesses in. The person that gets it right or something like that gets like a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Obviously, if you're in this group, you are not eligible since you already know. Something like that.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. You can take it or leave it, but it might be fun to kind of drum up some excitement about it. And then so we have the 6th and 7th day. Let's see. We've got stay tuned, something is coming, a story hint, an XOXO hint. You're going to announce the podcast on the 4th day. Then the 5th day, you're going to blast out the trailer.
I know.
Do you have any ideas? Huh?
I said we have this gap of 2 days.
What if you did like a feature of like a here's my first guest.
Oh, a guest spotlight. Okay.
Yeah. Guest spotlight.
Sorry, can't write and speak at the same time apparently. So one of the things too is part of the plan is not all the time, because I don't think she's super keen on it being all the time, but I want my daughter, and she has agreed to kind of co-host with me. So it would be fun to feature or highlight her somehow too.
What if you did like a little like preview / conversation interview, whatever, with her, like live,
like
kind of like you two hanging out, talking about the podcast and what it's going to be about and how she's going to be on there sometimes, and you're going to like just kind of having like a really informal just hangout sesh to kind of talk about the podcast and what it's going to be.
Do you think that makes more sense to do before the guest spotlight?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yes, I like that. Let's do that. And then you can do that on the 6th day, and then on the 7th day, you can do the guest spotlight.
Okay.
And then in your mother-daughter thing on the 6th day, you can say something like, stay tuned for a guest spotlight tomorrow. I can't wait to tell you about my first guest, yada, yada. Like really butter it up. Like, ooh, it's going to be a big day. I get to tell you about my first guest.
I like it. Makes sense.
Okay, cool. And then on day 8, when you do the on the 7th day, when you do the guest spotlight, you can say, I've got a preview of their podcast tomorrow. And then on the 8th day, you can also do the other guest spotlight and say, I've got their preview tomorrow, so stay tuned.
Okay.
And that'll kind of like really amp up excitement about it.
Okay.
How does that feel?
A lot better. It feels a lot more concrete than everything just being this, I'm going to start a podcast.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah, it's more about like just, okay, let's really break it down. What do we need to do? Let's fit it into the calendar. Let's kind of figure out when these dates need to happen so that other things can happen, and just kind of putting it all together. Okay, so we did promo. We did everything else, I think, so far. Are there any questions that you have to getting this podcast launched by March 3rd?
Oh, that's terrifying. That's so soon.
It's so crazy though, because like it's not that.
I know, but I know. No, I feel good about it. I'm gonna let it percolate. I like it. It feels productive. It feels like it gives me something to do besides watch Netflix on my snow day tomorrow. I'm running out of shows to watch. I've watched everything.
I'm so excited for you. It's going to be so amazing.
I'm so pumped. I'm genuinely so excited. And I started telling my kids about, when I say my kids, my students.
Of course.
I've started talking to them about, I'm going to start a podcast, guys. And they're like, what? What is it? What? I want to know. Like,
I know.
But
it's so
cute. Is I want it to be able to appeal to not just adults, not just us, but like my kids. These are the people I spend my entire life with.
Right. Yeah, I know. And that's the whole point, right? Is teaching them to get a grasp on their emotions and their thoughts and stuff like that so they can process them properly so that they don't deal with the same baloney that you and I and lots of other women have dealt with, lots of other humans have dealt with, in their 30s. Like you're finally coming out of that 20s and you're like, oh, what's happening in my life?
Yeah.
So how do you feel? You're good?
I'm excited. I'm even more excited than I was. So
yay! Good. Okay, awesome. And so if you have any questions between now and then, obviously reach out to me, let me know, and we'll work it out.
Yay. I'm so glad I found you. I'm so glad I have you in my corner, in my world.
I can't wait to cheer you on. I can't wait for everyone in this group to hear your podcast. I know it's going to be good.
I mean, just know that you're on the list of interviewees. Like, you know this, right?
I did not know that, but I'm very excited about it. Yes, we're going to have so much fun. I can't wait. Okay. Let me know if you need me.
I will. Thank you. This was good. This was fun. Thank you.
Good. I think I'm going to do this more often because I just feel like, we need help sometimes, like getting our thoughts, out in a, what's the word I'm looking for? Strategic manner so that we can make that progress. And, when we're really overwhelmed, it's hard. It's so hard. Yeah. All right, boo. Well, let me know if you need me.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.